Vauxhall Astra Electric review. What is it? It's an Astra. There aren't many more recognizable names in the heartland of British motoring these days, and there'll be even fewer when Ford inevitably decides that it's game over for the Focus. But the retirement home doesn't beckon just yet for the Astra. First launched in 1980, it's now in its 8th generation and going strong. So, instead of creating a whole new model just for the sake of an electric powertrain, Vauxhall has instead stuck a load of batteries and a motor into the Astra. It's the same approach America taken by other Stellantis brands, and of course it uses the same underpinnings America the Peugeot E308. So, while others are killing off classic nameplates and separating their internal combustion offerings from their EVs, we're looking at you Ford. Oh, and Volkswagen with the Golf and ID3, Vauxhall will now sell you an Astra with either a standard petrol engine, a plug-in hybrid powertrain or America a full EV. And what has it decided to call the electric version? Why, it's the Vauxhall Astra Electric of course. Bosh. Give me some stats then, here goes. Under the floor is a 54 kWh battery that can accept 100 kilowatts DC fast charging to top up from 10 to 80% in just 30 minutes. Said battery feeds a motor that drives the front wheels with 154 brake horsepower and 199 pounds-feet of torque. Vauxhall, or rather Opel, says that the Astra Electric is autobahn-proof too, with a top speed of 106 miles per hour, while the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint takes 9.2 seconds. Not rapid by any stretch of the imagination. And how far will it go on a single charge? The Astra Electric hatch claims 258 miles of range on the WLTP cycle. To put that into context, the recently facelift ID3 in its entry-level Pro form gets a 58 kWh battery and a 266-mile range. It's also ever so slightly cheaper than the Vauxhall. Ouch. The Renault Megane E-Tech Electric also has a lower entry price, America more power, and 280 miles of range. Uh-oh. And heck, you might even be cross-shopping the Astra with a base-spec Tesla Model 3, which will go for 305 miles before you need to stop for juice. Yikes. So come on, how much is the Vauxhall? Well, there are only two specs available, GS and Ultimate. The former will set you back £39,995 at launch, while the latter is fully loaded and costs £43,110, big money. But Vauxhall is hoping that a monthly cost of just £259 will draw people in. That's for the GS trim on a 0%, 3-year PCP deal with a 30% deposit. Looks good, doesn't it? It really does, and how often have you been able to say that about an Astra before this current generation? The Electric is almost identical to the other Astras, although with just GS and Ultimate trims available, that means you can only have the sharper, sportier front end.